So I spent over a month with the M4 Macbook Pro, and as an M2 Pro MacBook Pro user, I'm actually really surprised with this, that I no longer think that I need another M Pro chip. So let's have a general discussion about my experience with this laptop. I'm going to get straight to the point before we talk about the specs and the design choices of this laptop, but as a daily Mac user, my workflow basically resides around Final Cut Pro. I've personally said time and time again that I'd love to try and swap to DaVinci, but that does require me to have time to use it and to learn how to use it. And I just don't have any of that. As a full-time creator, I'm always needing the most quick and easy video editing software, and that's what Final Cut Pro is for me. At the level that I'm at, I don't really think that I should change, especially with how smoothly Final Cut Pro runs on these Apple Silicon devices. When editing in high quality mode in Final Cut Pro, I noticed 0 frame drops or issues with the timeline, which really did surprise me since I have been using the M2 Pro MacBook Pro for about 2 years now. And obviously because of how powerful that chip is, this was a standard experience across the board. But where the difference is when I switch back to high performance mode, the visuals do drop on the playback on the timeline, which obviously is a given. But my point is that I haven't had to switch to high performance mode, as high quality is running really smooth, just as smoothly as what it does on my M2 Pro chip. Interestingly enough, the M4 exported my 10-minute video almost a minute faster than what my M2 Pro MacBook Pro did. It did export slowly as a whole, but the video was one of my longer videos. It was about a 10-minute long video. However, it did also export a 30-second short faster as well, which actually makes me think that the way that I work, and I guess the kind of content creator that I am, and the settings that I use in my video files, it's not how professionals do it. So I don't even think I really need the power of a Pro chip anymore. I'm pretty confident that I can get away with a base model M4. So if you are still on an Intel-based Mac, in the nicest way possible, I think it is time for you to upgrade. The power of Apple Silicon is incredible and honestly is second to none. This specific MacBook Pro that I have here is the M4 MacBook Pro. It is the base model with a 10-core CPU, a 10-core GPU, and 16 gigabytes of unified memory. This one though does have the 1 terabyte SSD. I can't get away with anything less than that. Put it in simple terms, this is the fastest M chip that Apple have created on the base level. There are M4 Pro and M4 Max chips as well that do outperform this, but the base models are so fast that if you're just an everyday user, a content creator, or someone that does a lot of productivity work and admin style work, then you honestly don't even need to look further than this. Let's talk about the design and the features, because the performance wouldn't mean much if you couldn't plug in your devices or use certain features to help your workflow. So all M4 MacBook Pros now have 3 Thunderbolt ports, meaning you can now charge from all the ports if you don't want to use the MagSafe charger, and it can now run 2 external displays through Thunderbolt while still supporting full native resolution on the laptop's display. And the Thunderbolt ports can support up to 6K resolution at 60 Hz, or you can use one display through Thunderbolt and one through HDMI and have that one support 4K 144. But that is a lot of words, and if you don't know what the hell I just said, this is basically powerful enough to run 2 external displays and its own display at the same time. Pretty cool if you are someone who wants to have that desktop setup, but also wants the ability to take this on the go. This can do it all. So I have the new Space Black here, and they have stopped the Space Gray. This is a really nice welcome change for me because I am used to Space Gray. And this doesn't leave as many fingerprints as what I thought it would. The 14-inch is the preferred size for me, purely because of all the traveling that I do. I'm personally getting sick of the weight of a MacBook Pro though, but I'm too scared to jump across to the Air. If I wasn't using Final Cut Pro, then maybe the Air could be better suited for me, but I haven't used an Air in 9 years. What do you guys think about the new ones? Do you think I'll get away with it, or should I still stick with a MacBook Pro, even if it's a base model M4, just for that extra CPU and GPU core count? Back to the design though, I do have the nano texture display, and this has become a new favorite for me, specifically on the MacBooks. It does a fantastic job at reducing light reflections, both artificial and natural of course, and this is great when you're working from an environment that doesn't have controlled lighting. So I do think that this is worth the extra 230 Australian dollars if you are traveling a lot and work in a lot of different places. It is much less distracting and disruptive. So much easier to focus with this screen. So if you can go into an Apple store and see one for yourself, definitely check it out. I think this is just such a worthy upgrade. Now software, macOS Sequoia is, in my opinion, a really good piece of software. My favorite feature with Sequoia 15.1 is iPhone mirroring, which I actually use all the time now. Dragging and dropping files onto my phone, uploading Instagram videos without even having to touch my phone. It's so handy. This is not exclusive to the M4 models, so update your M-chip MacBook to get macOS Sequoia and you can also experience this too. I'm glad they didn't lock it away behind this model. I think everyone needs to experience this. Something that should have existed many years ago. It's window snapping. I don't know why it took so long to get here, but we're here. That is another feature. And Notes has also had a really big upgrade too, with built-in recording and transcription, as well as the ability to solve equations by typing them out. This is a big upgrade that I personally appreciate, as Apple Notes is my main app that I actually use for my content creation and my scripting and general life stuff. So I love this. I know a lot of people use Notion. I can't get around Notion. I think it's too complicated. I love that I can organize all my files in Apple Notes and I can format them a certain way with different colors, different fonts. Apple Notes is really underrated and you can do so much with it. To be a successful creator, you don't have to use Notion. Don't feel that way, because I felt that way for a long time and realized that, hey, like, if it doesn't work for me, that's fine. I've got my workflow and I love my workflow. But let's talk about Apple Intelligence. In order to use it in Australia, you do have to set your Mac's language and Siri language to US English, and then you've got to join the waitlist. It doesn't take long to get on the waitlist, like it literally took me a couple of hours. And over the past couple of weeks with this laptop, I've been far too busy with the structure of work that I've had going on that I haven't actually taken the time to really utilize it. So what I was hoping to do is to make a video dedicated to Apple Intelligence on the Mac, on the iPhone. So do subscribe if you do want to see that. I think it'll be good to combine them both into one video, and I'll give you guys a little bit of a rundown on how it all works. But essentially, it does invite features such as writing tools to help you rewrite and summarize your words. There is photo search, so you can type up what you want to look for in your photo library. Just describe the image and it'll search that for you. Of course, it also adds in cleanup as well, which I think works pretty well from what I've used with it on my iPhone. I think it's performed okay. There are updates to Siri to make it more naturally conversational as well. So I'm pretty keen to try out these features now that I can dedicate my time to actually using them. But I also know that I'm not someone that will heavily rely on these tools. The only AI tool that I actually utilize every single day is ChatGPT, because it helps clear my thoughts and ignite ideas for my content creation. I'm not shy about that. I talk about how I use a language model all the time. It just helps me streamline what I'm thinking, because my brain is just go, go, go. To finish off this video, let's talk about battery life. I'm used to having Final Cut Pro open when I put my Mac into sleep or when I close the lid. And that in the past with my older models, that has just drained battery life more than what I would expect it to. But I'm happy to report that it hasn't been much of a problem for me with this M4. It feels like Final Cut Pro is a little more optimized now for the M chip, which has really impressed me. I'm not really charging this laptop. Granted, I have been using it with now a non-existent Samsung Viewfinity S9 monitor via Thunderbolt, so it was always charging when it was plugged in, but that monitor actually had Thunderbolt issues, so I no longer have it. Off topic, side tangent. Do I spend the Apple tax and get a studio display? But that has been my experience with the M4 MacBook Pro. Obviously, I haven't gone over every feature, but I thought for this video, it'd be really good to just speak about the relevant topics to my usage over the past month. And that has basically just involved so much video editing. I have been so busy. If you don't follow me over on Instagram, please do. I post a lot of short form content as well as what I do on my YouTube channel with my long form. So if you do want to see more from me, that is the place to be. I really do think that these M chips are so phenomenal. And if you haven't upgraded from your Intel MacBook yet, you absolutely should, if you can afford it, of course, because although price is high, it does make sense for the power you get in these devices. And in my opinion, they are investment pieces. The difference in power and performance is second to none. It is a game changer indeed. Thank you so much for watching, and please subscribe because I look forward to talking more tech with you in the next video.